Hello, welcome to Movement Not Miracles. I'm Anna from Eat, Move, Be Happy. It's a bit of a chillier Thursday today after the last couple of days. I'm really noticing the change in temperature, but I hope everyone's staying warm. So Movement Not Miracles is your bite-sized version of ways to keep your joints mobile and healthier, look after your posture, and to ward off some of those aches and pains that we can get from sitting still in a poor posture for too long. And today's a seated version, so a bit more of an accessible version than yesterday. We did some floor work yesterday. You can do all of these, seated or standing. I'm going to show you the seated versions, and we're concentrating on our upper body, so a bit of a stretch and a bit of a mobility session. So, first things first, if you are seated, make sure you are sitting away from the back of the chair. So we're not relying on the chair back to support us. We're using your tummy muscles and the muscles in your back to support your body. And think about sitting up nice and tall. So we're not sitting like a bag of spuds. The minute I do that, actually, my lower back feels a lot more squashed and achy. But when I work through the muscles and sit up nice and tall, it does feel better. So think of sitting up out of the bones of your bottom. So you should be sitting on the bones of your bottom, not on the fleshy part of your bum. Now, if you are standing, make sure you are standing with your weight evenly distributed through your left and right side. So seated or standing, we're nice and balanced, which is a good start point to be in. So to start off with, we're just going to do some neck mobility. So think of shoulders back and down, so there's some space between your ears and your shoulders. So we're not hunched up like this or round shouldered like this. So try and think of shoulders back and down and nice and relaxed. And sitting up nice and tall, we're just going to drop the head to one side and then bring it back to the centre, and the same on the other side. So we'll do that a couple more times. As you can see, you don't get much movement, but you should feel a nice stretch of the muscle here. Right, now this time, I want you to reach down with one arm and then reach your head over, and you should feel a bit more of a stretch now. Reaching away with that arm and just dropping your head to one side. So reach down the other way. And keep breathing. Don't forget the breathing. The breathing's quite important. And then look over one shoulder and back to the centre and to the other shoulder. And once more on either side. Stay sitting or standing nice and tall. Staying relaxed across your shoulders and broad across your collarbones. And relax through your jaw. If you feel if you feel your jaw is clenched or your tongue is resting in the roof of your mouth, that's an indication that you've got some tension through your jaw and probably into your neck. So relaxing through the jaw with your tongue in the base of your mouth, don't clench your teeth, is a good way of just noticing and releasing some of that tension in your neck. We're going to do a bit of a stretch across the front of our chest now. So if you reach behind you, clasp your hands together and let them just relax in the base of your back. And again, shoulders stay back and down. Stay sitting nice and tall, and then think of really squeezing those shoulder blades together, and you'll see feel a nice big stretch into the front of your shoulders and also across the front of your chest. So stretching through your chest is particularly good if you find that you are really round shouldered. So if we spend a lot of time in this sort of a position, then these muscles can shorten and that helps pull your shoulders forwards. So stretching across our chest helps to encourage a better posture, and then strengthening through the muscles in your back helps them support and maintain that better posture. Okay, and release. And we're now going to do some shoulder rolls. So now we're going to get those shoulder blades moving on your upper back and the shoulder joint itself moving. And to start off with, just a nice shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears and then back and down. We'll do a few without arms and aim for as much movement through the shoulders as you possibly can. So your shoulder blades should really be squeezing as you stretch across your chest there. Right, now if you can, introduce the arms. So you lead with your thumbs go back, behind your ears if you can, and then back and down with your arms. So a bigger move, staying sitting nice and tall and trying not to let your lower back arch. Arms back behind the ears if you can. So this is really working the muscles in your upper back to strengthen them. Martha's come to say hello with a sneaky cuddle. One more. Okay, so a bit of a tactical waggle of our shoulders. Okay, so we're now going to do a twist and focusing on the upper back. That's where we're going to pay the most attention to. You'll probably get some movement through your mid and lower back as well, and that's fine. But the upper back, your upper thoracic region, the region of your back that's in between your shoulder blades, if you're anything like me, that bit, one, it's not designed to move as much as your mid and lower back. It is designed to move though. And that's where I can get particularly stiff in between the vertebrae, and that's when my back starts to ache. So keeping your back moving is a really, really good idea. So sitting nice and tall, and we're going to use the chair as a bit of an aid. You can still do this standing, but if you are doing it seated, we're going to use the arm of the chair if you have one. If you haven't got an arm of the chair, use your thigh, and the back of the chair to assist that twisting move. So we're going for a hold, so it's as big a move as you can do and a stretch rather than building up the mobility, but we will do it a couple of times on each side. Need to make sure that you're sitting really tall before you start to twist. You're not going to get much movement if you're slumped down. So sitting up tall, away from the backrest, and we'll go this, I'm going to change sides just because I've done half of one on one side. So think of twisting through your spine, keeping your hips facing forwards. So I'm having to work through the muscles in this leg to keep this side stabilised. So I'm trying to twist my spine and get my chest all the way around. I'm still breathing. If the back of the chair is too high, reach lower. So we're aiming for movement rather than contorting ourselves. And I find I get a little bit more movement if I look where I want my body to move to. Martha is trying to get out of the door. I don't know whether you can see it behind me. Okay, that feels quite nice actually. So now we're going to go back the other way. So sitting nice and tall and bracing myself against the arm and the back of the chair. And each time I breathe out, I'm thinking of twisting a little bit more. Okay, once more on the first side. Make sure you're starting from the right position, sitting nice and tall. And see if you can get a little bit more movement on the second time. And final side. Keep breathing and stay relaxed through that jaw. And back to the centre. Okay. So we're going to do a side bend now. So movement through a different plane in our back, and again we're going to aim for upper back. So we're going to do elephant ears. If you clasp your hands behind your head, and in that position, again, making sure you're sitting nice and tall, try not to let your back arch, and also we don't want our shoulders up to hunch up by our ears. So we're trying to keep our shoulders back and down, so squeezing our shoulder blades together whilst we're in this position, and your elbows are back. So if I show you from here, my elbows are back as far as I can hold them back. So that in itself is working through the muscles in my upper back. So trying to stay relaxed through my neck, and then we're going to bend one elbow down towards the floor. Now you can see I'm not moving through my waist, through my mid-spine. I'm just going for movement in my upper back. If we bend through the rest of our body, then you're going to get more movement through the rest of your spine, which is fine, but we're aiming for mobilizing that upper thoracic region, which can be a bit more of a challenge to get to. So we go one side, this is stiff at this side, and we go this side, trying to keep my elbows back. Oh, there we go, I got a bit more movement there. To get that movement, I thought of lifting that elbow and almost stretching through my armpit, like pushing my ribs out to the side, and that helped release. This side is definitely stiffer for me. Okay. Bit of a tactical waggle there. And then just to finish off, we're going to do a stretch through our upper back. So if you clasp your hands out in front, so again sitting nice and tall, we're going to let our chin just relax down to our chest, and then we're going to reach forwards. So reaching as far forwards, pushing your hands away from your body. So you should feel a nice stretch across the upper back, and then bringing your arms back into your shoulders. So it's my arms, got hair in my face, my arms that are moving. I'm not bending through my back, so I'm staying sitting upright. I'm reaching my arms forwards, so you can see a bit more writing on my t-shirt. And then when I release the stretch, bringing my arms back into my shoulders. Now, my shoulders stay away from my ears. So even when I stretch forwards, I'm not doing this. So keep your shoulders away from your ears, stretching forwards, and then bringing your arms back. I'll show you once more from this side. And then relax. Okay, so a bit of a seated upper back fest for today. Remember, there is no dose of movement that is too small. So doing something is better than doing nothing. So if you've only got time to do a couple of moves for a couple of minutes, then do it. And gradually, if you can build up the time, then that's good as well. But doing something is definitely better than doing nothing. And keeping your joints moving is a good way of avoiding them getting stiff and sore. So even if they do feel a little bit stiff, move as much as you can rather than avoiding the movement completely, because the minute you stop, then the stiffness will just increase. So little and often is a really good top tip. Enjoy the rest of your chilly Thursday. I think it's going to be a bit of a chilly Easter weekend, although I don't think there's much rain forecast. So some jumpers and hats and gloves maybe, but the sun is going to be coming out at some point. So hopefully you'll be able to get out and about and enjoy some of that sunshine. Take care, look after yourself, stay safe, and I will see you next Tuesday, if not before.